Hello everyone, it's me Shanty and you're watching Biology Nowadays. In this video, we will learn about tissue systems, mainly the epidermal tissue system. So let's start. We have already learned a lot about different kinds of tissues. Now let's learn about tissue systems. A tissue system is a group of tissues performing a common function irrespective of their position. On the basis of the structure and location, there are three types of tissue systems: the epidermal or the dermal tissue system, the vascular or the conducting tissue system, and the ground or the fundamental tissue system. Epidermal tissue system forms the outermost covering of the primary plant body and consists of epidermis, stomata, and epidermal outgrowths. We will learn about these structures later in this video. The vascular tissue system consists of the water-conducting xylem and the food-conducting phloem tissues. In this picture, the vascular tissue system is shown in violet color. The vascular tissue system forms a continuous system that spreads in roots, leaves, stems, etc. and acts as a continuous channel for the conduction of water, mineral elements, and prepared food. The ground or the fundamental tissue system consists of various types of tissues except the epidermal and the vascular tissues. In this video, we will learn more about the epidermal or the dermal tissue system. As I mentioned earlier, the epidermal tissue system forms the outermost covering of the whole plant body, just like our skin. Actually, epi means upper and derma means skin. Epidermal tissue system comprises of epidermis, stomata, and the epidermal outgrowths or appendages. The epidermis forms the outermost layer of the primary plant body. It forms a boundary between the plant and the external environment. Epidermis protects the plant from pathogens and mechanical injury. It is made up of closely arranged living parenchymatous cells constituting a continuous layer without any intercellular spaces. The epidermal cells are more or less tabular, which means horizontally elongated in a cross-sectional view. They have a small amount of protoplasm and a large central vacuole. The walls of the epidermal cells of the aerial plant parts, that is all plant parts except roots, contain deposition of cutin. Cutin forms a covering on the epidermis called cuticle. The cuticle is a protective layer which minimizes water loss. Now just think about the cacti plants growing in dry habitats like deserts. To reduce water loss, these plants have very thick cuticles. Cuticle is highly resistant to microbial attack also. Sometimes cuticle contains waxes. This wax also protects the plant in dry conditions. Wax is present on the upper surface of the floating leaves. For example, the waxes present on the floating leaves of the lotus plant protect them from wetting. Epidermal cells of some plants, for example, some grasses, possess a deposition of silica. This provides stiffness and roughness to the plant parts, thus makes them protective against grazing by herbivores. Now let's learn about stomata. At some places in the epidermis, you can see minute openings meant for gaseous exchange. These minute openings or pores are called stomata. A single pore is called stoma or stomatal pore. During photosynthesis, plants take in carbon dioxide and give out oxygen through these stomata. Water vapor also escapes through stomata during transpiration. You may already know that stomata are present in the leaves, which are the photosynthetic organs of a plant. But actually, you can find stomata in the epidermis of all green plant parts, that is, in the leaves as well as in young stems. But of course, they are most abundant in the leaves. Typically, leaves have 100 to 500 stomata per square millimeter. Now let me ask you a question. Consider this leaf. It has an upper surface and a lower surface. Where do you think stomata can be found in abundance? upper surface or lower surface? If you can guess the answer, then type it in the comment box below. Also, don't forget to tell me why you think so. Each stoma is surrounded by a pair of chloroplast containing kidney-shaped cells called the guard cells. Other epidermal cells don't have chloroplasts. The guard cells regulate the opening and closing of stomata and thereby control the movement of gases, including water vapor, into and out of those plant parts. In some monocots, the guard cells are dumbbell-shaped. Sometimes a few epidermal cells surrounding the guard cells become specialized in their shape and size. They are called subsidiary cells. The stoma or the stomatal pore, its guard cells, and the surrounding subsidiary cells are together called as stomatal apparatus. Now let us see what are epidermal outgrowths or appendages. Sometimes you might have noted numerous hair-like structures on the stems and leaves of some plants. These hairs are epidermal outgrowths called trichomes. The trichomes protect the young plant organs and also help in preventing water loss due to transpiration. The shape and nature of the trichomes vary a lot. They may be unicellular or multicellular. They may be branched or unbranched. Some are pointed structures and some are star-shaped. In some plants, the trichomes may be secretory. Such trichomes are called glandular trichomes. They have a glandular tip which produces some kind of secretion. Here is a scanning electron micrograph of glandular trichomes. There you can also see some stomata. A special type of glandular trichomes is seen in insectivorous plants. For example, in Drosera, commonly called as sundew plant, the whole plant body is completely covered with glandular trichomes. The glands in these trichomes produce a secretion containing protein digesting enzymes like proteases, which digest the body of the insect. Now let's see the epidermal outgrowths in the root. In the roots also, you can see many hair-like structures. They are called root hairs. Root hairs are the prolongations of the root epidermal cells. So they are unicellular. These root hairs help in absorbing water and minerals from the soil. Due to the presence of numerous root hairs, the epidermis in the root is called piliferous layer or epiblema. In the root epidermis, cuticle and stomata are absent. Cuticle is absent because cuticle is a waterproof material and it will prevent the absorption of water by roots. Stomata are absent in roots because roots don't conduct photosynthesis and so there is no need of gaseous exchange through stomata. Until now, we were discussing about the case of the primary plant body. But in dicot plants, after a period of growth in height, they will undergo secondary growth. That is, the plant will show increase in thickness of stems and roots. During this time, what will happen to the epidermis? As the plant grows thicker, the thin-walled cells of epidermis get stretched and finally rupture. Epidermis will be then replaced by a multi-layered cork tissue produced by the tree during the secondary growth. In this cross-section of secondary dicot stem, you can see the ruptured epidermis as well as the multi-layered cork tissue formed below it. Cork is composed of dead cells and it acts as a protective tissue. Like cutin, seen in the epidermal cells, cork cells have a waterproof material called suberin. Suberin prevents the water loss. We will learn about cork tissue in detail in another video on secondary growth in dicot plants. So now I hope that you got a nice idea about the epidermal tissue system. But before we conclude, let's list out the functions of the epidermal tissue system. The epidermis and its waxy cuticle protect the plant from pathogens, mechanical injury, and excess water loss. It protects the underlying tissues. It regulates gaseous exchange through stomata. It secretes metabolic compounds. It absorbs water and mineral nutrients, especially in roots through root hairs. And that's all for this video. Thank you for being with me and stay tuned.